Hey there, it's Trisha with Easy Emini Trade, and I wanted to go over how you can determine support and resistance and why you'd be interested. Also, would like to remind everyone that I've got an upcoming webinar this Thursday, April 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'll go over the Kaboom setup and also how you can trail out of your positions, whether it's the right choice for you or it's not the right choice for you. Lots of talk on that. Whether you should trail or get all out, and again, there's no right or wrong answer, but I will help you hopefully figure it out for yourselves. So support and resistance is just basically finding areas where price continually hits and stalls, basically wherever price creates a ledge, and sometimes that means including the tail of a candlestick, or sometimes it's just the body. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just basically a way to estimate where price may hit and hold, or bounce or pull back. So it can be an area that is hit a few times, many times, and it's not exact. So just because you pick out an area of resistance or support doesn't mean price has to hit that exact area and then it's going to bounce. It could be within a vicinity of a point or two. So I'll show you how you can find those areas and how you can use those to better implement your trades once in. So all I'm looking for is anywhere that price basically hit and held repeatedly, and I'm using a 60-minute chart on the NQ. You can use a 60, a 30, a 15, so whatever instrument you're trading, you'll do the same thing. You can use a tick chart. You can use very small areas of support and resistance, looking at it on a 5-minute chart. But what I do is when I start out each day, I'll look at a 60-minute chart to get areas of support and resistance, and I have those on my entry chart. And the reason I do is I use them as a target area. So if I'm getting ready to take a trade and I know there's an area of resistance above me, and let's say that I can't get my first target of 2 points, like let's say there's not enough space between where I'm getting in and where that resistance is, let's say above me, you have two choices. You can take the trade, and if it can't get through the area of resistance, you take a smaller profit, or you hold off until price can break through that resistance area, and then you look to take a pullback entry. So many ways that you can implement that, and you may choose to use all floor trader pivots and midpoints, which will often fall very close in line with areas of support and resistance that we're watching. This is a little bit more exact, and it takes a little bit of practice, but here we go. So you can see here, and I've got 24-hour information on here. So here's the regular trading market. You can see it right here and here. So this the area that covers less space within these two lines, and hopefully you can see those lines. I'm not sure that they're going to show up, but you can see here where the volume is higher. That's the regular trading day. So I'm going to, and I do include 24-hour info. I will look for support and resistance areas, even though it might occur overnight or pre-market. So you can see here, this area here, resistance, 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 an area that continually hit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a horizontal line there. Okay, and you can see this general area right here where it hit as resistance a few times, and then also support here. You can see that the candle, the wick of the candlestick actually came below that area, but it actually opened on this bar here above that area and closed above the area here, which falls right in line with this area. So I'm going to just go ahead and draw my line there, and so you can see that it hits right in line with these areas here. And then if I were to draw another line here, which encompasses the wicks of those candles. Falls right in line with support of these bars here. Now these are a little bit close, the 1675 and the 2175, but most of the time you do have a little bit more space. And if you look over here to the left, and I'm just going to scrunch this up a little bit just so you can get a better idea of what's going on. If you look over here, you might decide to adjust this 1675 a little bit. And what I'm looking at is I'm looking at this bar here, right here, and the high of this wick here. It's actually the high of the day on that bar. So I'm going to actually move this right there. And so now I'm not paying attention to this, but it falls right in line in this area here. But now the line falls right in line with this area of support here, area of resistance here, general area of resistance here, and if you look back here, general area of resistance as well here. Yeah, a couple of these wicks came through there, but very close to that 1350 area. So that could be an area that you can use. And so anything, when the line is above us, it's resistance, and when it's below us, it's support. And you'll find that what was once, like let's say you have resistance here and price breaks through it. Let's just use this line right here. So we've got resistance here above us. You can see it's holding, 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 and then once price breaks through it, then you'll find that it will then act as a support area very often. So that one line can then act as support and resistance. So all we're going to do here is we're going to look for areas where price continually hit and held. So let's look in this vicinity here. So just trying to pick areas that continually hit and held. And I'm going to use this right here, this line, because right here you can see we do have a couple wicks that tried to break through but failed. So I'm going to use this because it falls in line with this area here where price kept trying to break through and failed. And like I said, it's not an exact science. If you want to use this area here because of these bars here and this bar here and the high here, general area here as well, still the same vicinity here. So it's again just going to be a general vicinity. It's not going to have to be exact. And so let's see, is this an area here? So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at this vicinity here. You can see support here came down and held, general area of support and resistance here, support, it held here, once it broke through it held as resistance, then support, and then here support, support, here support, 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 so, and here support. So I'm going to use that area. If you look back here, you've got resistance, 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 and basically what you're looking for is the last time price was trading in that area. So if for some reason you can't see what's going on, like let's say right here, so let's say that you're looking at this vicinity here and you can't see anything to the left, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to scroll back until you can get to that the last time price traded in that vicinity. So let me just do this first. So here, for example, and I do use an indicator that will mark the previous day's high, low, and close. And yeah, so like for example here, this is the cash market. So I'm using 24-hour information. So my low that's going to be marked from the 19th is down here. So I don't need to worry about marking that vicinity. But I'm going to mark this area here because we actually had, you know, two bars here holding as support, general area here, support and resistance. And you can break this down even further to a 15-minute chart. So let's do that so we can get an idea of what happened within a couple of those wide range bars. Let me just get there. Here we go. So now we can look at this on a 15-minute chart and get a better idea of what happened on this day. Looking at it on a 60-minute, it was a little hard to see. So you can see this general area here. We've got some resistance, 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 and you can see this bar here, some support. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to mark that that general area right there. And then you can see right here we've got a lot going on in that same general area of you know, where you've got some resistance here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark that area, and I'm going to cut off the tails on the top side there, because this is the area that held more often, right here where I marked it. So we've got a little tail here, but where did it come back to? Right in that 64.25 area. Same thing, pop through, where did it come back to? Resistance, here the same thing, pop through, where did it come back to? Pop through, where did it come back to? Here, resistance right there as well. And you can see these bars here, so they didn't quite make it up to that 64.25 area. So, you know, if you wanted to use that area, you could. It's going to just be the vicinity. So let's see, what does that turn out to be right there? So, you know, we may be looking at more like 63 to 64.25 might be the area that we get stuck the next time we're trading in that price vicinity. So let me go ahead and change that back to a 60-minute. Okay, and so here is the area that we were just looking at. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to mark this area here where we've got this low right there, and just because we don't have really any other reference there, and so now what we need to do is we need to scroll to the left to the last time that we you know, traded below that area, so we can see what's going on within this 50 and 64. And so, you know, we may not have any price action in that area on this contract. If you find that, here we go, then you just go back to the old contract, or if you're using a continuous symbol to trade from, then, you know, you just scroll back until you can see where price was. So here's, interestingly enough, if you scroll back to the last time that price was trading in these vicinities. Now mind you, we didn't look back this far yet, but you can see all the areas that we marked based on price as it just happened over the last week or so. Scroll back to March here, and you can see that price holds up in those same general areas. Here 75 acting as resistance and support. Here at the 64.25 area, general area of support, general area of resistance, 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 support and resistance. You look at the 50 here, you can see support as well. And so now let's see where we might want to draw something below that. Let's see. Let's scroll a little more to the left here. So let's use this area right here. Let's cut off the tails there for now of these two bars, and you can see it broke that area here on both these bars just to come right back above it. But look to the left, and you can see we've got some resistance in that area, support and resistance right here in that area, and same thing here, resistance here, tried and failed, tried and failed, tried and failed. And then let's use the low of this bar here, right here on right here. And so let's just look a little more to the left, and so you can see right in that general area that works out to be pretty good. We've got some support here, general area here of a lot of congestion going on, the same here and the same here. So that works, and you can adjust it a little bit if you wanted to use a little bit higher. Maybe let's use the tops of both these bars right here and here. Again, it is discretionary, but you're just looking to get a general area. And so the reason we care, as I started to say earlier, was if it's above you and you don't have space, then you can choose not to take it, or take it knowing that if price gets stuck there, and very often it can get through enough to get you your target, and then it pulls right back underneath that area. So also, some people choose to use Fibonacci to locate those areas. Whatever works for you is all that matters. And so here I'll draw, I'll use this vicinity here. We've got 3 bars there acting as resistance, resistance, resistance. And let's see, I'll use this area here of 71.75. You can see support, 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 support. So we'll use that general vicinity. Actually, I'm going to move it just down just a little bit. I'm going to use just a little bit lower because of these 2 bars right here, where they opened and closed, and it falls right in line with the same vicinity here. So we'll use that. And then here you may want to put something at the 63.50 area using the high of this bar right here, and we'll put something here using the general area of the low of this bar here. And you can see realistically, if price breaks this 57, you can see that there's a lot going on in the way of congestion sideways here between 47.75 and 57.25. And when you see something like that, so let's say that we started to trade under that area and we were under 57.25, and if you look to the left, the last time that we were in that area, we were pretty much going sideways. Even though we have about a 10-point range there, when you see that you're getting into a congestion area, those are the days where you might have trouble getting runners, where you might just take your 2 points off the table if you're trading the NQ and be done with it, rather than trying to exit in stages and hope for a runner. If you break this area of support here at 47, then you might be more inclined to to have more of a chance of a runner. You have a couple areas here where you'd be paying attention to, but again, just look to your left and see whatever price did to the left. When it gets usually in that same vicinity as it starts to plot again, that's usually what you can expect again on as it plots on the right. So I hope that helps, and if you have any questions, you can shoot me an email. And I hope that didn't make it too confusing, but I think if you practice drawing support and resistance and watch it throughout the day, you can get a better idea of how it can better serve you. And you don't necessarily have to pass on any trades that are setting up in those areas, because quite honestly, intraday, you really don't know if those areas are going to hold up until they actually do. So you just pay attention to them. You know that they're there. You make an educated decision on when you take your entry if those are in your general vicinity. And then if it holds throughout the day, so let's say that you're trading and you have an area of support and you drew it there and it holds, and then you see it holds again, then obviously then it demands more of your attention because it did hold. Okay, so I hope you have a fabulous evening, and we'll talk to you soon.